This week on CheckPoint.
I can't wait for the day when this goes to come.
Crocodile tears, or the cry of a man wrongly accused.
You have no idea how hard it is for me to even sleep at night when I think about it.
And later, legalizing Northern Cape Zamazamas.
You cannot just have the whole pie of the land for certain companies, but you are refusing the people who are actually staying there to give them just a piece of land for them to mine.
This is CheckPoint, and I'm in Nkepile Mabuse. Varsity sexual violence is an issue we've tackled several times on CheckPoint. In March, we lifted the lid on what's been going on at Fort Hare University after receiving reports of the sexual harassment of students by lecturers and an alleged culture of sexual violence on campus. The focus of our investigation was on one particular lecturer accused of demanding sex for marks and harassing a student assistant in his faculty. Legally, we were prohibited from identifying the law lecturer because he had not yet pleaded in a court of law. However, after our broadcast, he was outed on Twitter, as other former students alleged he had harassed them too. The lecturer, Luzuko Chingana, who was found guilty of sexual harassment by Fort Hare late last year, resigned before he could be dismissed. He recently wrote to CheckPoint requesting that his side of the story be told.
I want to clear my name because I feel like apart from these two girls who are accusing me, there are sinister forces behind this.
Former Fort Hare law lecturer Luzuko Chingana has been charged with kidnapping and 2 counts of sexual harassment. He was released on warning while the NPA decides whether or not to prosecute. After we broadcast allegations against him in March, more women came forward, accusing him of the same on social media.
The reason I'm coming out, I want to clear just a few things, that after you aired the show, these were shown on social media, that is on your Twitter page, where students, for an example, alleged that I had committed the same offenses at Rhodes University, where students also alleged that I never last in an institution because I always leave because of these allegations.
The main accusation against him relates to an allegation that he demanded sex for marks from a 4th-year law student, and that when she told him she could not sleep with him, he drove her to his home and forced her to perform oral sex. Chingana denies this. Did you ask her for a...
I never asked her for anything. In fact, I never took her to my place.
When the student was interviewed by CheckPoint, she gave details of what the lecturer's house looked like inside and exactly where the alleged crime was committed. How does she know the inside of your house? How does she know that it's open plan? How does she know that there were 2 bedrooms? How does she know all of those things?
I lived in an open plan. I lived in a 2-bedroom, as the one that I'm in now. And as you can see, it's an open plan. It's the same. So it's common cause that to everyone that the modern buildings now are like open plan.
So she guessed that?
Of course she guessed that. I would say that she never gave me a... We never even discussed the issue of sexual relations or sexual activities.
Okay, so why would she make up a story like that?
You must understand that her case was not only about sexual offense.
Central to this sexual harassment allegation is the fact that Chingana increased the students' marks so that she could qualify to write exams or get what is referred to as a DP or year mark.
At the faculty, there is a practice, I wouldn't say a policy because it's not documented, but it's something that it's done, where, for an example, students who fall just underneath 40%, that is of the DP, a lecturer is allowed to use his discretion to give that particular student at least access to go and write exams.
The discretion must be based on something. What? It was based on the fact that...
Yes,
what?
the discretion was
that she
based...
asked.
No. It was based on the fact that she was the only one who didn't have a DB for the course.
So is that enough, do you think, as a lecturer? You're an experienced lecturer.
Yes.
This was not the first university that you had worked at. Mm-hmm. To give somebody extra marks just because she's the lowest in the class?
You must understand that when you talk about discretion, the definition of discretion is broad because it is not even defined. So the way you use your discretion might not be the same as I use my discretion. So for me, the fact that now I had a student here and I had a student who was crying and I had a student who was saying, I'm the only one who doesn't have the DP, and I checked on the class list and indeed she was the only one. So I thought I had to apply my discretion, and I believe, and I still do, that I applied it in a correct manner.
And you felt sorry for her. So students could come and cry in your office and you'd give them extra marks. Is that how you operate?
It was not just about feeling sorry for her. There's been students who came to my class, and I remember one of them said that my mother is going to kill me if I don't have a DP. And I never I never felt sorry for her.
I put it to him that one could argue that a planned request for a sexual favor influenced his discretion.
One will argue. In
the other case of the child whose mother was putting her under pressure, you didn't get a...
I didn't get at any stage. I didn't get at any stage.
He denies harassing the second alleged victim, who spoke to CheckPoint as well, and insinuated during the interview that she'd neglected to tell CheckPoint just how close they were.
What she didn't say was that we also had a relationship that was more personal, in a sense that we used to call each other my husband, my wife.
The inappropriateness of this, if true, is clearly lost on Chingana, who then went on to blame the sexual harassment allegations on jealous colleagues who conspired with the girls to get him fired by the university because of his brilliance.
When I joined the University of Fort Hare, it took me just a few days that I went to class. And the dean approached me and he said to me, Chingana, I'm very happy. The students are happy. The energy that you have brought, there is life in class. Students are happy. And then you know what? If you've got your head screwed on well, you are going far. This faculty could groom you to become leadership in future.
After 2 days?
I'm telling you, after 2 days with students being impressed with me and all that.
If you have such a sterling record, why didn't you stay at Fort Hare and fight the fight and prove your innocence there?
I thought, if I leave now, at least I will have a good reference, no doubt. That's what everybody would have done. And secondly, the environment was hostile now because the support staff and other lecturers now were discussing me with students. Nobody believed in my innocence. I'm a human being. And these things were getting too much on my head because there was an incident.
But if it's lies, really, lies shouldn't make you that uncomfortable.
It's not lies that was making me uncomfortable.
What was it?
It was the treatment I was receiving from people. If I am guilty, then let the courts of law decide, and then I'll have to take responsibility for that.
But the university has already decided. They found you guilty.
They found me guilty. That is why I'm here to say I do not understand how they could have arrived at that.
He says the entire disciplinary process was flawed because he was not given a chance to discredit his accuser's character.
I feel that there was a conspiracy against me at Fort Hare,
and these alleged victims are being used by people who
Absolutely.
are jealous of you, jealous
Absolutely.
of your success and your brilliance.
I wouldn't mention names to say...
But you know who's using them.
I wouldn't say I know per se.
He says he wants his day in court and seems to be banking on the fact that the burden on the victims to prove their case is much higher in a court of law than in a disciplinary hearing.
The disciplinary hearing is a process that works on a balance of probabilities. In a criminal court of law, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt, because you must remember, this is somebody's life, this is somebody's career that is at stake.
And it was talking about his career, which he says has been ruined by the allegations, that brought him to tears as we wrapped up the interview. He says he's struggling to get a job at another university.
My name is tainted. I can't wait for the day when this goes to court. I can't wait for the day when this goes to court. Then the court pronounces on it, then after that they don't care who says what about it. You have no idea how hard it is for me to even sleep at night when I think about it. The trauma that my family is going through, the trauma that my kids are going through, hearing stories about the dead. People I grew up with, people I've worked with, who are now starting to doubt me because of this.
When we return, from illegal zamazamas to artisanal miners.
We took them through the whole process of applying for a mining permit, and at the end of the day it was authorized and granted.